Hi everyone, it's Lori and welcome to my Dahlia Garden. So I'm going to start this month's garden tour out here with the dahlias. I grow dahlias each year, and this year I have 4 raised beds. They're 2 feet by 8 feet and they're full of dahlias. And I am just loving that they are coming into their peak bloom. They're such gorgeous, fun flowers to grow. So I start my tubers indoors and start pre-sprouting them in March. And then I get them planted after the last frost date. I'm in zone 7 up in Maryland. And so I get them out in the ground about the first week of May. And then you just continue to watch them grow, monitor for insects, fungicides, just, all fungus, all kinds of things that sometimes dahlias do get. But right now we are just enjoying the full blooms and almost at peak season. So you'll get to see this garden today in my tour. I'm also going to show you the other garden beds that I have and tell you a little bit about what's changed, what I've had to replace, and some plans I have to modify and tweak my garden this fall. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy this gorgeous season, the end of summer, headed into fall. Thanks everyone.
So here's a view of 2 of my raised beds that have my largest dahlias in them. So you're looking at this red one is bodacious. It's one of my absolute favorites. These grow anywhere from 4 to 6 feet tall, and they will just continue to bloom through at least mid to late September. And then I've got a variety of other these are little anemone joys, and I've got some large, super large yellow ones. The purple that you're going to see are the Monarch Dark. And they have just been incredible bloomers. I highly recommend. It's the Pinhill Dark Monarch Dahlia. And they've just been profuse blooms all summer long. So really enjoying these gorgeous dahlias. My key learnings this year were I moved to Maryland in the fall, as you know from watching my videos. And this garden has earwigs. And so I've had to really monitor the earwigs that like to get in the early buds. They're not bothering them any longer. In front of the dahlias, I decided just to plant some cosmos seeds, and these have grown to they're over 7 feet tall. They've been pretty crazy growth this year, but they're just beautiful. They're such a soft look in the garden, and I've enjoyed them. This is one of my absolute favorites. This is a floodlight yellow dahlia, and it's just been it's one of my all-time, just the best growing habit. It blooms just profusely. So you can see just a lot of variety. It has been really bright this week, and I just haven't had a day of overcast skies to create this video, so I apologize for any of the bright sunlight. I also grew chocolate dar that you're seeing there at the ends of the dahlia beds, just to give, again, different texture and some elements that I could do in the cut garden. So now you're walking down the main path that heads to our home. And again, just a little almost 360 view of the gorgeous dahlias, the cosmos. I do have some zinnias right there on the corner. And then I mimicked on the other side, I mimicked this same thing. So these are some shorter varieties of dahlias. Again, I have lots of cosmos and things growing on the sides. I love growing from seeds. So as you walk down, you're now into the formal gardens, and this is where I have my perennial garden beds. I have just a wild variety of beautiful full season interest. So I have things that bloom in early spring all the way till fall. So I'm going to start by taking you to this corner. This is really a bed that I have a lot of shrubs and created a lot of structure. I do have some color, mainly fall, and I've got some dogwoods that will provide some winter interest. I couldn't stand to not show you this view again. It's my favorite view in the garden. So you can see again the cosmos and the dahlias. So as we come around to this side, the idea for this side border is just really to provide some structure, some winter interest. So there's a Hydrangeas. Everything's doing great. And then you'll come around to these perennial beds. I'm going to talk more about those as we look at them. The 2 beds are not identical, but they do have similar plants in them. And then as we spin around, this side is where I'm going to make some changes this fall. I've had salvia that's been beautiful. I've had some smaller hydrangeas, but I'm going to want to make some changes to this side bed. And then another view of the dahlias on the other side of the garden and the cosmos that are doing well, but they're probably only going to last a couple more weeks. So as we come around, I will then begin to show you each bed in a little bit slower fashion. Here's a view of the patio, which has been really fun. So let's look at this first bed. These are some new plants that have been blooming since the last video. This one that has the yellow blooms is 16 candles, and I've just really enjoyed its height and the beautiful blooms. And then behind it, this is a version of a mullen, M-U-L-L-E-N, and it has just been stunning as well. I love this tall structure. I also have a foxglove back there that grew, and finally my clematis has just popped with some gorgeous white blooms. So I love these taller flowers in this garden, and I think once the hydrangeas grow next season, it'll be really beautiful to have these mixed in. You can see some veronica, the purple flowers of veronica. There is some lavender as well. And then in this other side, we've got also a wide variety. So these petunias in this basket continue to bloom. You guys, these have just been amazing. I do fertilize them weekly. And I've got roses that are blooming, and the coreopsis has not stopped either, just such a hardy. And then I've got guara, which I absolutely love. So just a lot of variety in these garden beds. This is the Roald Dahl rose from David Austin, and it is just taken off. I did plant some sunflower seeds on the corners of the driveway just for fun, and they are humongous. So if you remember from my prior videos, I have these planter boxes, and I had to completely change it out. They were filled with mint and some other plants that just got really overgrown. So I just recently replaced those. Another view of these roses that have gone absolutely crazy. I'm going to have to get a stake to kind of get them supported. I think next season they will fill out more from the middle and be bushier. And then there were some amaranth seeds that just magically showed up. I think they must have been on my hands or clothing, and they had sprouted, and I've just let them grow. So I'll start now to show you some of my planters on my patio garden. And the coleus has just been incredible this season, growing profusely. Now these planter boxes I did change out in the month of August. I filled them with some coleus that I had rooted, as well as some other plants that I had just rooted, and just really cleaned this bed up so that it would be ready for taking me into fall. Now the King Tut, or Prince Tut rather, are these large green stalk flowers, and they are just amazing. I can't say enough great things. I planted these in May, and they just don't stop growing. I have cut and cut and cut them, and they're just really fun. If you've never tried to root coleus, they do amazing. All of these in this garden bed are where I rooted them from my other plants. And it's a great technique to do in midsummer, so you have them ready for some fall color and interest. So I have loved having those. Coming around here, I just have a variety of planters. Now these I have had to change out a little bit as well. So this one with the red celosia, I had some Suncredibles in there that had just done great until late August, and they just got overgrown. And so I changed them out and just put in some celosia to add some, again, fall color, and also some things that I could use in cut flower arrangements. This planter was also filled with mint. I did pull some out and replant it, and added some of these other plants, again, just to clean up my planters and make them last until the first frost. So just wanted them to be beautiful through the months of September, October, and early November. So I think that's a trick. I like to plant my planters early, so I had all of my planters ready the 1st of May, and then by the 1st of August, they needed just a little refresh. So I think it's okay to pull some things out and pop in some inexpensive annuals to make some modifications. So now we're up at the top of the driveway, so you can see the Dahlia Garden, and I want to walk you down just this side garden bed. This is where I did have to make some changes this month in August. So you'll notice these hydrangeas look really nice, but if you look at prior videos, I had 2 Annabelle hydrangeas here, and they did not like the full sun days. I'm talking 8 to 10 hours of sun. They just got fried. So I went ahead and replaced them with a limelight and two Bobo hydrangeas. So I'm excited to see how those do in this area. And I did show you my flock. That flock was native to the garden. I was able to save it before we did our construction, and they have just not stopped blooming. I just love them. So my lesson was sometimes things need a shift, and it's okay to move things and make adjustments even in the middle of summer. So I've moved the Annabelles to the far back of the garden where it's shaded, and I'm giving them lots of love and know that they already have some new growth on them. So this is a Rose of Sharon, the blue chiffon, and it also has been beautiful. I love that this is a late bloomer in my garden, and it's just adding some additional color and makes it kind of feel like springtime. And it really offsets the color of the flock. And then I've got all those gorgeous white hydrangeas. So this side of the garden I'm really happy with, especially now that I replaced those hydrangeas. So this is my back tiered garden bed, and it has a whole different look, an entirely different look and feel. I wanted this space to be really easy, and I wanted it to be really fall interest. So I have a lot of mums, I have astilbes, I have sedum, just a variety of plants. And you can also see the planters that are on the top of my porch. There's Prince Tut standing so majestically. And I filled in with some coleus this year. So I really wanted to pop some things in to grow until I decided what to add. Now this front plant, the green lettuce leaves are Dock, D-O-C-K, and it's been an incredible plant to add to the garden. I also did some sunflowers for fun, and they've been a lot of fun to enjoy. So this view is from my side patio as we walk out of our house up the path to the garden, and I have planters full of succulents that have just been really fun to enjoy. And right here on the right, we have some shrubs, some trees that will grow for privacy, and I have a small succulent garden as well. So it's a fun spot for just some things that are really enjoy the heat, the sun, some additional planters, and this is a whole different view of the garden from our patio. I really wanted the patio space to also feel like a garden space, and so I'm really enjoying the planters. I have plans next year to add some more that also add some height to really make this space feel really cozy. Again, thank you for watching, and enjoy this last view of the garden.